Hello, this is video one of a series of videos that back up a white paper I wrote last year about reputable suppliers. Today's video is about data and what you should be concerned about when you're thinking about choosing a new supplier. Cloud computing has been around for many years. The main difference with the solution is that there's great advantages from being able to put your data in the cloud, not have to worry about servers and things like that. The biggest issue with doing it is the fact that you're no longer in charge of your data or not in control of that data. That data is now living on someone else's server. They're in control of it. You need to make sure you can get it back if you decide to leave that supplier. Now, certainly in the legal industry, we probably come across this once every week. Companies or firms that are coming to us go to look to get their data back, and their current incumbent supplier will say to them, yes, you can have your data back, but you need to run reports within the software, and that's how you're going to get your data. Now, I'm sorry to tell you this, but there is no way on this earth you're ever going to get all of your data back from running reports. It just doesn't happen. That's not what reports are there for. They're there to give you analytical information. They are not there to do extraction of data. So then you're left with another problem of, okay, how do I get my data back? If it was lying on a server in your office, wouldn't even need to speak to your incumbent supplier, because your new company would just go in and lift it. The next one is, though, you go and you phone them up and say, can I have my data, I'm going to move, and they will start quoting you huge amounts of money to give you your data back. In my opinion, that should definitely not be happening. So I think it's daylight robbery. It's just penalising you for leaving and trying to give you a reason not to leave. That's not the worst thing. Some companies will say to you, yeah, that's no problem at all. Give us 5K, we'll give you your data back. When can I have it back? Oh, you can have it back 10 days after your contract ends. Okay, so I've now got 10 days of downtime while I'm waiting for that day. You've probably then got 3 days for your new supplier to then load the data into your new system. Now that's acceptable because they've got a lot of work to do. The guys who are just giving you your data, they've got very little work to do. So you need to think about these sort of things. If you've read the contract, you've signed up for the 5K, there's very little you can do about it. The ones I have a problem with is the ones that don't tell you about it. It's not in the contract. You've been with a supplier for 20 years and it's never been an issue because the data's been lying on your machine. You've not had this issue before. So you really need to think about this. You need to do your due diligence when you think about going with a new provider. Make sure that it's listed, how you get your data back. Make sure it doesn't say it's reports, and make sure it says it's no cost. I did hear of another one. This one really shocked me. And these are real. I'm not making these up. These are absolutely real events. We come across them all the time. Person phones up the current supplier and says, I'd like to leave you. They were on a 3-year auto-renewing contract. They need to give 90 days notice, 120 days before the contract ended. They emailed the current supplier and said, I would like to serve notice. Then they got into a conversation about they're having to pay to get the data back. They didn't know that, and they asked the supplier when they could tell them how much it was going to cost to get the data back, and they told them they would give them the price 89 days before the renewal was. So effectively 1 day after they could cancel. So that firm then had two choices. One, give their notice 90 days, not knowing how much they were going to have to pay, or two, not give notice and stay for 3 years. Okay, this is the reason these companies do this. These are the reason these suppliers do this. It's retention. Now, when you value a business, retention is a humongous metric used by purchasers. So therefore, retention rates are actually things that are looked at really highly. Now, Insight Legal have a retention rate of 99%, and everything I've spoken about today is in our contract. You either sign a monthly contract with us or you sign a 12-month contract with us. That's all we do. And all of the things I've spoken about today about how you get your data back, all these sort of things, we have it listed in our contracts. If you use an Insight Legal system and you want your data back because you want to leave, you can have it. It's not a problem. So I suppose to end this video, I would say that yes, I get that I work for companies that supply software to the legal market and the property markets. But if you do find yourself in a situation where you can't get your data back or you're having problems with your current supplier, feel free to message me. You can message me on LinkedIn. My contact details are on here as well. You can drop me an email. I don't mind having a conversation with you. We have managed to get some data back for some customers. We've advised them on how to do it, so I'm happy to discuss it with you if you want. Anyway, thanks very much. Have a great day. Cheers.